Okay, so today I'm going to go over a mobility routine, and this is something you can super simply do in like a short amount of time. You can do it before bed, after practice, or before practice, after lifts, before lifts, really any time of the day. And it's going to help you feel better, move better, and move better longer. So a lot of these concepts come from the FRC system, which is a mobility practice that focuses on active range of motion rather than passive range of motion, which would be like static stretching. Really active mobility and ability to move is what's going to transfer over to your sport and just to actual daily movements. So with that being said, we're going to go over cars just from head to toe. All cars are is they're just basically, like I was telling you, is like fancy joint circles, except they check off all the boxes because they allow you to go through a range of motion and rotate at every single end range. So using contraction, which is again that active range of motion piece, and this is really like going to help you maintain mobility so you can move better longer. And really in these joint circles, you're trying to coordinate your breath with your movement, and then you're also just working on your range of motion that's specific to you. So like we're going to go over shoulder cars, which again is just going to be a fancy joint circle, and you're really just, it's going to give you feedback as to how much space you have in that joint. So we're going to be working a lot of the structures that are closer to the joint, a lot of those tissues that are the fibrous tissues that make up the joint lining and the joint connective tissue. And really that's the stuff that needs to be mobilized to allow the joint to actually move mechanically better, more efficiently. And so it might look like, in certain joints that don't have as much capacity, it might look like a smaller circle, and you're always trying to fight for a bigger and bigger circle without any pain. So yeah, those are the cars. Okay, so we'll go over it now. So we'll start with shoulders. Okay, so with these positions, you can start in really a lot of positions. You can start here in this, what I call bear position with a tall spine. You can start in side sitting. You can also start half kneeling. Okay, so let's start just half kneeling. Okay, so again, with the cars, you want to initiate with the breath and then go through our joint circle. So it's going to look like this. You're going to inhale. Okay, come up. As soon as I feel that end range, okay, I'm going to start to rotate. Okay, rotate, 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 all the way to the back pocket. Okay, initiate with the breath. Exhale, come up, reverse that motion out of the back pocket towards the front again. Okay, and I'm always fighting, I'm literally always fighting for a bigger and bigger circle, isolating the movement exclusively at that joint we're trying to work at. Okay, so that's one, let's go for 3 more. Okay, again, initiate with the inhale. Okay, rotate, 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 good. Again. First couple times you do this, definitely go super, super slow. Really, let's see the other side. I'm worried about the quality of each rep. I'm never really worried about how many reps I'm doing. I'm just kind of making sure I get enough quality reps, okay? Good. So you can see that this is a little bit different from other mobility practices because we're really fighting for a range of motion with active contraction. Okay, next let's do scaps. Okay, so scaps can really move up, down, forward, and back. Okay, so which we would call elevation, up, protraction, forward, depression, down, retraction, back. Okay, so let's just go forward one way and then switch it up. Okay, so elevation, protraction, depression, retraction, up, forward, down, back, 2, up, forward, down, back, up. One more. Good. Now let's go other way. Forward, up, back. Good. Okay, let's go spine here. Okay, so really for the spine, I'm going to be coming here crossed, and I'm going to be thinking rotation first. Okay, so rotate, then laterally flex, and then I'm going to try and circumduct in the biggest range of motion that I can control possible. Okay, and then just come back. That would be like 1. Okay, so again, I'm coming here, initiating with the breath. Okay, coming over to flexion. Rotate, laterally flex, circumduct as big as I can. Good. So you're gonna see a lot of shaking. Let's do one more. That's really your body trying to fight for those end ranges, control those end ranges. That's what we want, okay? So really fight through that shaking, okay? Let's do one more, tall. Inhale, exhale, flexion here. Rotate, bend. Good, fight for a bigger, bigger, bigger circle. So that's about 3 good ones, I think. Okay, so again, fighting for that big range of motion. Next, let's do the hips. You can do really the hips in a lot of different spots, but let's do sideline. Okay, so with the hips, we're gonna wanna flex and then come out, then start to rotate. So internal rotation, and then do a big circle, and then pretty much reverse that motion. Okay, so it'll look like this. Okay, so we'll be on our side here. Okay, kind of about 90 degrees of the hips and knees. Okay, I'll flex my thigh towards my chest. Okay, I'll come out. I'll internally rotate, so I'll rotate that thigh towards my midline, but then I'll also circumduct at the same time, constantly trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and keep rotating at the same time. Okay, and then as I meet here, I'm going to reverse that motion. Start with an inhale, come back, up, Rotate the other way, circumduct as much as you can. And then meet in the middle here again. Good, so that's one. Good, keeping constant tension. So I'm just rotating at that hip joint. Good, I think that's 4. The other way. So I'm here, flexion again, coming out. Okay, rotating that thigh towards the ground. Okay, as big as I can, big as I can. Circumducting. Whew. Okay, I think that was 4 each. Yeah, with the hips, another thing that's good with the cars is it's giving you constant feedback as to like what part of the range of motion you're really sticky in. Sticky kind of just being like you have adhesions at that point in the range of motion and like at that specific aspect in the actual joint. So like for me on my right hip, I can definitely feel as I go into flexion and internal rotation, I can just feel it's like a sticky point. Okay, but once it starts to get a little bit warmer, I can get a little bit bigger circle, a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. And I can also notice my brain is trying to fight for that range of motion, and it's almost like my brain doesn't know how to communicate to that joint as well yet. Okay, so that's kind of what the practice is again. Like we're always trying to fight for a bigger and bigger, bigger range of motion. Okay, so lastly, so let's see, we hit, the next one we can do is cervical spine. So you can usually do this right before we do the big spinal ones. So for this, it's that same concept. It's just flexion here, okay? And then trace your chin against your collarbone here, and then laterally bend, then rotate as big as you can, okay? So we're here, inhale, exhale, trace, bend, rotate as big as we can. Good, complete it by tracing that chin across the collarbone. That's 4. Okay, so that's good there. Okay, so last one here, work on ankles. Okay, so with the ankles, it's really just a circle. I like to just kind of come here and like support my leg up so I can just isolate the shin. Okay, from there I like to scrunch my toes and then really just work through a box. Okay, as large as I can. Okay, so I'm coming out, down, across, up, here, reverse that. Trying my hardest to remember to keep my breath. Trying to go bigger and bigger each time. Cramping is definitely normal, okay? Okay, let's just go last one here. Kind of losing count. It's around 10, not sure. Okay, other side, same thing. Scrunching up here, okay. Just going in a box. Definitely feel a little bit slower on this one, especially on that down phase. Okay, come across. So you can see I really have to think about it. Okay, that's what we want. We want the brain working. See, I'm like stuck here. Come across. Cramping here. Let's do one more. Yeah, that's definitely super tough for me on that right side. So yeah, that's really the spin up that I would usually do. You can do this for like 2 reps, do it for quality, you can do it a little bit longer. But really, yeah, it's gonna help you feel better, move a little bit better, and then move better longer. Okay, so it's gonna keep you fresh. Last thing I would usually do is just do a little bit more soft tissue stuff. But I know you're good with that. One thing I would say is, again, like use your fingers like I was saying, so you can dig in here and just coordinate, same concept, coordinate that. So once you find something that's a little bit sticky and like kind of painful, that good pain, you kind of want to just coordinate that breath with the movement and just count that as repetitions. And I would just use that same concept going head to toe. So yeah, those are some things you can do. That cars practice and soft tissue stuff, really, to just check off a bunch of boxes. So yeah, that's that. Let me know. Peace.